Good evening, traders. Welcome back to week 4 of paper trading. This week I have got 20 trades, holy crap, with a profit max of 1.3 and profit of $300. Now, this was slightly affected by these two trades, which one could sort of argue were sort of test trades, so to speak, because I was just trying out some lotto trades, because why the fuck not? But nevertheless, this has been quite a difficult week. As you can see, I have a lot of trades, and a lot of them. As you'll see from the bar chart that I'm bringing up now, a lot of them were not very much profit or loss. There were a couple of mistakes in there, and the biggest loss was this Palantir here. So we'll have a look at that. So PLTR, here it is. Let's just go to the daily. Now look at this, and what happened in here was, going to the 5-minute, was I took a trade in here. And then the next day I went, whoa, look at this. And obviously the trade I took was a put, and so this was very, very bad. And the problem I had here was that if you're just looking here, the price was rising. And this was really difficult, right? Because the stock actually had relative strength, which I did not want. Admittedly, some of the TSI and MACD was bearish, but it didn't stay bearish for long. And so this was a really tough choice to exit with a 60% loss on this trade. Because of course what happened was that although it had this rise, then the next day, if I'd held it another day, then it dropped and it dropped and it dropped some more, and admittedly it rose a bit this day, but you can see how, so this was where I took the trade, this was where I exited. This, you can see from the rest of the chart that actually I possibly should have held, but this is the nature of overnight risk. So yeah, I'm still working out if that was a mistake or not. I think possibly it was. I should have held my nerve, but yeah, I think I understand why I exited. So let's now look at my biggest win, TTD. Now, percentage-wise, this was a very big win. Percentage-wise, this was 287%. So the Palantir loss was only 66%, whereas this was 287%. So it's a shame that the option cost so little compared to Palantir here. So let's have a look at TTD. And you will see here that I took the trade on the same day as Palantir, and this trade just kept with the thesis, kept in the lines. It kept showing relative weakness, and I exited around here. There was a little bit of shenanigans where I figured, oh, I'll re-enter and then exited, and I lost a bit of profit in there, but I'm generally happy with this trade for sure. And the market was just bearish alongside. Interesting here, it was a slightly bullish day in the market, but the stock was just so relatively weak that this was a good trade to make. So I was very, very happy with this. And the exit was good because the stock didn't really, yes, it went down further 2 days later, but I don't have a crystal ball. So I'm very, very happy. Yeah, very, very happy with this trade. I'll delete those comments, but yeah. And I re-entered with 2 contracts as well, just to be stupid. So those are the 2 big trades out the way. There were a few other. Oh yes, JBHT. This was a nice trade, a nice profit. JBHT, and yeah, this was a nice profit. And where did I enter? Here we are. Is this an exit or an entry? But yeah, what happened here was I entered here in the stock with relative strength, roughly here anyway, and yeah, the obviously we ended up interesting market. I think it's actually interesting looking back that I took this trade because the market was quite bearish. I think vaguely what I remember was there a SMA there. Was that right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, here we are. So it was the SMA bounce that I traded. So that explains why because you might say, well, why did I go long on a bearish market day? But that was why, because we had this SMA here, and this clearly bounced off. And as you can see in the stock that I traded, then you know, clearly this bounce affected the stock, and I exited the next day. Again, this was a difficult choice to exit here. I could have theoretically held, but I could see these candles weren't holding the strength here, so I could have held, but I'm happy enough that I did not, and the stock didn't move significantly further. So a lot of these other trades were just very sort of mostly short term, fairly small trades, which again I need to work on. It's a bit frustrating. I don't really want to scalp things. It sort of feels like this week has been making up for the Palantir difficulty. We'll just have a quick look at here it is. So this was yesterday, and market was kind of chopping around, but the stock was relatively weak. The D1 was looking weak, and so I took the trade and I exited when the TSI started being bullish. There's not really much to say here, and also the market was just quite choppy, so I wasn't giving this much leeway anyway. And I guess finally we'll just have a quick look at Delta Airlines, because I did a real trade on this as well as a lotto. So I entered here and I exited. I've not drawn these yet, but I exited around here for sort of the real trade, and the lotto didn't work out, and I think I exited it in here somewhere. And here I bought them both. And so what happened was I thought this was a good long-term trade and also a good Friday lotto, and it kind of just plateaued here and didn't really go any further. So I actually sold the lotto for sort of like a 50% loss, because I was like, well, this is just, I might as well just lose 50%. So yeah, I've never tried lottos before, but it was cool. So anyway, this is the final week of real money, not real money, of paper money with growing an account. So the next 4 weeks, I'm going to do the $300 sort of challenge that I'm setting myself of, can I grow a small account from $300 and see each week how much I grow it, and then reset every week. So stay tuned, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye, traders.